Welcome to the channel. Please subscribe if you like stories about the ancient world. We have seen how the Chinchorro survived. We have studied their tools and their diet. But to think of them only as survivors is to miss a fundamental truth. The Chinchorro were artists. In a landscape of stark minimalism, they created a world of profound symbolism and beauty. Their canvas was the human body itself, both in life and in death. Their palette was the earth and the sea. Today, we explore the aesthetic soul of the Chinchorro, a world where every bead, every splash of color, and every strand of hair was a word in a silent poem about identity, belief, and the eternal bond between the living and the dead. Long before a Chinchorro individual was transformed into a mummy, their body was a living canvas. Personal adornment was a crucial part of their identity, a nonverbal language that spoke of status, achievement, and connection to the natural world. The language of beads. They were master lapidaries, painstakingly crafting beads from a variety of materials. They used colorful shells from distant beaches, bones from birds and fish, and even semi-precious stones like lapis lazuli, which they would have had to trade for over long distances. Each bead was drilled with a stone-tipped drill, a laborious process that tells us these objects were highly valued. An ornate necklace was not just jewelry, it was a biography, a map of social connections, and perhaps a talisman for protection. Body painting and pigments. We can also imagine they used mineral pigments like red ochre and black manganese, not only for their mummies, but also to paint their living skin. For rituals, ceremonies, or perhaps simply for daily beauty, they would have decorated themselves, transforming their bodies into vibrant, living art. This practice blurred the line between the living and the dead, between the mundane and the sacred, creating a visual continuity that prepared them psychologically and culturally for the ultimate transformation, in death. But it was in death that Chinchorro artistry reached its breathtaking zenith. Their mummies are not preserved bodies. They are sculptures. They represent the most intimate and ambitious art project in human history, the recreation of a person into an eternal form. The sculptor's touch. The process itself was an artistic performance. The careful removal of the skin, the reinforcement of the skeleton with sticks, the meticulous stuffing with clay and fibers. This was not just preparation. It was an act of creation. They were building a new, durable body, an armature for eternity. The final layer. Paint, wigs, and masks. This is where the artistry became explicit. The choice of color was deeply symbolic. The early black mummies, covered in a glossy layer of manganese, presented a unified, severe, and perhaps protective shell, symbolizing the darkness of the earth or the void of death. The later red mummies marked a dramatic artistic shift. The vibrant red ochre, the color of blood and life, covered the body while the head and wig remained black. This striking contrast was intentional and powerful. It screamed of life force, of rebirth, of the soul's vitality contained within a recognizable form. And finally, the wig. Made from human hair, sometimes meters long, it was the ultimate personalizing detail. It preserved the individual's identity, ensuring that the community would remember not just an anonymous ancestor, but this specific person. The mummy was a portrait, a three-dimensional memory made of earth, pigment, and love. Every artistic choice the Chinchorro made was loaded with meaning. connecting their microcosm to the macrocosm of their world. Colors of the earth. Their pigments were not random. Red ochre was iron oxide, the very essence of the desert earth, the color of life-giving blood. Black manganese was a mineral from the mountains, the color of the night sky and the fertile soil. By using these materials, they were literally grounding their dead in the landscape, tying them to the eternal cycles of the Atacama. Materials of life. The shells in their necklaces were the same species they ate. The sea lion skin used to wrap mummies was from the same animals they hunted. The reeds in their baskets grew in the same oases that gave them water. There was no division between the utilitarian and the sacred. The objects of daily life were the materials of eternity. This created a profound, holistic worldview where death was not a separate realm, but a continuation of the same existence, using the same symbolic language. The silent speech. Even the small, open mouth on many of the mummy masks is a powerful artistic detail. Was it a final breath? A silent song? A means to communicate with the living? We may never know for sure, but it gives the sculpture a voice, a frozen moment of expression that bridges 7,000 years to speak directly to our souls. The art of the Chinchorro forces us to expand our definition of what art is. It was not decoration. It was ontology. It was their way of being in the world. Through their ornaments, they defined their place in the community of the living. Through their mummies, they defined their place in the community of the dead and the eternal. They teach us that the most powerful art is not that which hangs on a wall, but that which is woven into the very fabric of existence. It is the art of living and the art of dying, combined into a single, continuous practice. Their legacy is a testament to the human need to create meaning, to beautify our passage, and to leave behind not just bones, but a story told in shell, stone, and color. In the end, the Chinchorro were not just preserving bodies, they were preserving souls. And in doing so, they created some of the most moving, profound, and ancient artworks our species has ever produced. What aspect of their artistic vision resonates most with you? The personal adornment, or the grand spiritual statement of the mummies? Share your thoughts below. If this journey into the first art movement of the Americas moved you, please help us continue telling these stories. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell for our next exploration.